Known online as the Ice Queen, Kya Jeub has taken to social media to share her story of living with an ostomy after getting diagnosed with ulcerative colitis at age 14. She now lives a full, beautiful life with three children and inspires us daily with her resilience.
We read the books, we bought the things. We thought we were ready. And then life took our plans and changed them. I'm Karen, I'm Victoria's mommy, and I work in tech.
And I'm Pamela. I have a baby boy named Ford, and I'm a journalist. And although we're both first-time working moms, we're actually pretty different.
And that's totally okay. Because we both agree that our most important work is raising our kids. We really need each other and can only get through this together. Welcome to Motherish Moments.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, Karen.
We're back in the studio.
Back in the studio. We have a guest today.
Yes, from Colorado. So she got up a little bit. I don't know if she got up earlier, but like
I feel
she's
like
up
every
and
cool
focused.
cool guest we've had ladies from Colorado. It's like the
we
place.
we're just all area codes.
Yeah, I love it. You
Are
want to
you?
start with your motherish moment?
Yes. My motherish moment actually happened this morning. I was walking out to take Victoria to school. So my daughter is 5 years old, almost six. And I hand her backpack and she goes, "Bruh, this is heavy." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And she goes, "Bruh, that's how you say it, mom. You don't say bro, you say bruh." And I was like, "Okay, can you use it in a sentence?" And she goes, "Sure." She goes, "Bruh, it's hot out here." And I was like, she goes, "Okay, so you get it, mom. Bruh, not bro." And I'm like, okay. Okay. And so officially, let's mark the date here. We're in
That's very Miami of her, no?
March. No, I feel like this is a generational thing. I don't think it's
No,
Miami.
Ford, he's using it too.
Really? Bruh?
Yeah.
BRUH.
Mhm.
I thought that was coming later in life. I wasn't prepared for that to come now. But yeah, so 2025 is bringing bruh, like I'm getting schooled by my daughter, bruh. And I'm like, okay.
Actually, that reminds me, I'll just do my quick too, because it has to do with Ford's comments and like reactions and like the words he's using. Of course, everything that's great like gets from mom. Everything that's like, where'd you get that from? I assume it's from like when he's at his dad's house. But the other day he was telling me the story and I was like multitasking. I was driving. I was trying to set up like the Netflix in the back of the car. I was like doing a lot of things. So I just like paused and I go, "I'm sorry, baby. Can you repeat that? Like I missed it. Can you say it again?" He goes, "Ugh, never mind." I was like, "Excuse me?" He's 4.5, mind you. I'm like, "Can you just like say it again? Just tell me the story again." He was like, "No, it's okay. Never mind." Like I was saying it, you weren't paying attention. I was like,
Oh, rough.
honestly, I feel like the emotional like manipulation, like he discovered the power he has. And it really like it got me really worked up. I was like, just I'm like here like begging him to tell me like his playground story again, whatever it was he was telling me. And he refused. He did not.
Ay, ay, ay.
It's just like this little attitude that like
No,
he
but they're
has.
real people. That's
I
the
know.
thing that we
I know.
always forget. Like they are humans, they're real people, and they have the right to also be like, you know what? No, I don't want to tell you the story. I was telling you, you weren't listening. I'm not gonna tell you now, bro.
Yeah, bro, never mind. No, and then he was, damn it.
Oh no, 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 no. No.
I know, I told you. He's like, I don't know, the vocabulary.
Ay, ay, ay.
Kaya, so why don't we have you share your motherish moment?
Okay. Okay, yeah, now that you've shared yours, then I kind of feel like, all right, I might have one. Little bit different, but so I have a 5-year-old, she's my oldest, and I love, okay, this is so weird, but I love like Hallmark shows. When Calls the Heart is like this Hallmark show. It's like based in like before the 1920s. Anyway, I love it. It's like on the prairie, the best. Um, anyway, that being said, I've let her start like joining in on like the episodes that come out every week. And the other day, she's like obsessed with it. She just loves like the characters and, anyway. So there's two characters, of course, the main characters falling in love, all these things. And the questions she starts to ask then are like, I think they're going to get married. And then she looks over and she kind of gives me this look like,
Oh,
you think they are? And then, I mean, there's all these plot twists and stuff. So the ending scene then is, you know, it's a cliffhanger. So it's like, someone's hurt, someone's scared. And she just looks at me and she's like, Lucas is hurt. And then it ends. And she's like, did he die? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, we have to wait till next week to find out. And then she's like, oh no. Then she sits there and she's like, okay, well then what happened? Well, I said, well, you call that like a cliffhanger, like when you don't know what happened. And she's like, he fell off a cliff. And that was the whole thing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what
It's
am I
so
doing?
much.
All of a sudden you like start digging this hole for yourself and you're like, why am I explaining? There's too many things that I'm having to explain. So the motherish moment in that is maybe I'm letting her watch it a little bit too early, but it's just so wholesome and so fun. And like, I love it. It's like kind of our bonding moment. Like, we'll
That's
sit
sweet.
together. The boys aren't involved in this show.
Love it. I love it.
But yeah,
Thank you.
sometimes.
It's funny. That reminds me, like, there's a lot of questions that start coming up. And like once you start like answering a lot of them, it's like they go into like this black hole. Like I think I told you, like
I
he
mean,
was
so do
asking.
I. I still do
He's like,
that.
Mom, did they cut you to, had a C-section? He's like, so I came out of your belly, like they cut you, and I'm like, okay. He goes, okay, can I see the wound, like where they cut you? And I'm like, sure, I guess this is where you came out of. And he's like, okay. And they get all these questions, like, then how did I get in there? And then it was like, then
You're
did
like,
it hurt?
all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah.
let's change the subject.
Like
Yeah,
a
it's just
bird.
so cute. It's cute, but it's like also like, because their little wheels are spinning.
Mm.
Anyhow, so welcome to Motherish, Kaya. We're so happy to have you. Why don't you
Thanks.
tell us a little bit about your journey? I know you used to have a podcast and you were very open and vulnerable about your own journey, how you got to motherhood and everything that you've had to face. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I can't believe you've seen that podcast. We had like 8 episodes of it, but I had all this like built up stories and all these things I was thinking about, trying to share them on, Facebook and Instagram and things like that. And I just felt like I couldn't put it all into words in like these short little clips. But yeah, basically, I was diagnosed when I was 14 with ulcerative colitis. I actually had an ostomy bag placed back then when I was 14. And then there was like this 3-part surgery. So I had it reversed when I was 15. So it was probably a year and a half of having an ostomy as a teenager. And then they did what's called the J pouch surgery. So it's all like it's reconstructive and everything.
That's great.
Um, so I kind of thought this whole, health battle was in the past. I was on a very like strict diet, more like super high restrictions, like no gluten, no dairy, no sugar. If I did, I'd like end up in the hospital, be down for weeks. So that was just, I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? If I don't have an ostomy, then I can live with, eating like this. Then you fast forward from 2015 all the way to, I guess, 2019. But I went through all high school and everything, just on diets, even got married. So, but 6 months into marriage, that's kind of when everything started to fall apart. I was pregnant, so got pregnant right away. I was 6 months pregnant with our daughter, Hermione, and something just didn't feel right. And so I had been struggling with heartburn, thought maybe that's what it was. And then, yeah, long story short, basically ended up in the hospital. They saw I had a blockage, like not problemized because I love my daughter, but it was caused by just the growing baby and pushing up on past surgical areas. And basically I just like my intestines just couldn't function anymore because they were just like squished on the side. So they admitted me. I was in the hospital for 51 days total, all the way up until I delivered her via
Wow.
C-section. And during that time I had a surgery where they just cut open my belly and they placed the ostomy while I was pregnant. So that's when I got the one that I have now.
Wow.
And yeah, definitely scary. Definitely, one, I was freshly married, two, freshly pregnant, like never been pregnant before, and thought the whole ostomy life was like in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then got out of the hospital and it was honestly just a blur now that I think of it, because I was just like fighting for my life, like fighting through motherhood, like as a new mom, fighting because now I have this ostomy. I'm like, how am I did not want this, like did not want this back. But I was alive. So there was like that big thing. And I was married, to the love of my life. He's like the best thing ever. And he truly, I'd say I give a lot to him for where I am now because of how just patient he's been and just truly, through sickness and through health, like he was there through it all. And so, yeah, so it was 2020 when I got that ostomy place when I had my daughter. And I definitely felt isolated. So one, I was already at home because I had a newborn. And then two, you weren't allowed to leave your house
Yeah.
basically because of COVID and all the things like that. And so, yeah, I just I started to feel like sad and started to feel like lonely and just kind of not really knowing how to deal with this new life. And then I think it was just one day it clicked and I was like, last time I had an ostomy, I felt like I wasted it. Like I tried to hide it and was embarrassed of it. I don't want to waste it this time. And so I just took to the internet and I kind of just started posting little videos. It kind of started out as mother-daughter dances
Wow.
um, with Hermione, and then shifted into ostomy content, kind of just sharing, just trying to break the stigma
Yeah.
was kind of my main thing because I felt uncomfortable in it. And I just thought, maybe there's a bigger community out there, and turns out there was. And yeah, so that is kind of, yeah, I don't know how
Did it
far it could
surprise
keep
you?
going.
Did it surprise you the reaction once you started being vulnerable and sharing your journey through social media? What was the biggest surprise that you took from the reaction that you were getting?
I think there was a lot of people that just said, "Oh my gosh, me too. This is what I've been thinking. I just don't know how to put it into words." I think there was a lot of younger people that reached out, which that's where I just thought I was the youngest person who's ever had an ostomy. But yeah, just all the honestly, just like so much love and so much just people going, tell me more. Can we talk more on this subject? Because I can't find anything on the internet about it. Everything is super like, it feels like super just medical and like,
Yeah.
like taboo. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about hospital stuff. And so when I guess I maybe just kind of put a face to like, I have an ostomy too. And I don't know, I feel like I'm living a pretty normal life.
Mhm.
So it was encouraging to me and then just as much then encouraging to them as well.
So what are the things that are different in living with an ostomy? Like if or is there nothing at all? Like don't have this knowledge obviously, and so I'm curious to understand a little bit more of what exactly does that mean for you?
Yeah, so basically I always just say I can do anything and everything. I just have a bag on my side.
Mhm.
So mine is an ileostomy. There's lots of different types of ostomies. Mine's an ileostomy, so it is connected to my small intestine. I don't have a large intestine, so that's how you go number two is in the bag.
Okay.
A lot of people think you have to like take the whole bag off to go to the bathroom, but you just empty it out the bottom. You change the entire appliance like every 3 to 5 days, depending on like how your intestine came out. So it's called a stoma, the bit of intestine that's sticking out your side. Um, so that being said, there's all these like technical things, kind of like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, like you feel unqualified when you get an ostomy because you're like, this is like medical stuff. I don't know if I
Yeah.
don't even know if I can handle this. But it really is like, it just becomes like a hygiene routine.
Mhm.
And then the other, what's that?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
Yeah, no, then I would just say the other thing is people just think it's kind of gross and unsanitary, but the way the bags are made are just they have a like a smell proof, they're very secure on your skin. Usually people don't even know you have them unless you say something about it.
Yeah. And let's talk about the ice baths. Because why,
Yes.
what, tell us how you got into that.
So that was my husband. He took an ice bath like, I don't know, years ago. and was like, you have to try it. And I hate being cold. I mean, I have cold hands, cold feet,
Yeah.
can never get warm. So I said no. And then I think it was probably like a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, he made me like jump into our pool like during the winter. I don't know. It wasn't even frozen over. It was probably like, I don't know, 60 degrees. And I was mad. Like I did not like it at all. It was awful. Um, and then he finally got me. He's like, you know what? There's lots of guys doing ice baths, but I don't see a lot of like girls out there doing it. What if you just did like this 30-day challenge? Like you're already talking about being like tough with your ostomy. What if you were just like, I want to push myself. Let's do ice baths. So I reluctantly was like, okay, I'll do 30 days, I guess. And so took an ice bath. It was like middle of the winter, probably below freezing. We were actually living in Oklahoma and came back to Colorado for a visit. So it was freezing. And yeah, my first ice bath was totally frozen over. I had to break through it.
Oh, wow.
Second one, I was like, I don't want to do this. My husband's like, you don't have to if you don't want to. So anyway, but I did. And so I kept on 30 days. And then after the 30 days, I was like, I feel amazing. This is actually kind of awesome. I'm going to do an entire year. And so for an entire year, I took an ice bath every single day, like through, I don't know. I feel
How
like I
long do
was.
you stay inside?
What's that?
How long do you stay inside the ice bath?
So I usually do 3 minutes. Everyone kind of has their preference
I
or
did
like
two
what they're.
minutes in a cold plunge and it's tough. Like that's the longest I've lasted, 2 minutes. And it's like,
And that doesn't
Okay, that's good.
no, that's just like a cold
That's
plunge.
just
Like it's
cold.
just
Okay.
what can you tell us a little bit about like what did you learn about the benefits of the, you know, ice baths and the cold plunging and all that? Because I don't know. I mean, I love it. I also feel like I sleep better when I do it.
We've done it twice?
Um, no, I've done
Yes,
it more than maybe than like 10 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Um, and I just again, I don't know if it's placebo or if it's mental or what it is, but like can you share about what did you learn?
Yeah, so I'll just like, yeah, I'll share the personal experience. I never want to be like, this is like
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, yeah, of
Will
course.
happen with everyone.
Yes.
But for me personally, the main thing was just the mental like challenge it was and just completing something. So I always say like I said I was going to do something tough or I said I was going to get in the ice bath, said I was going to do something hard and then followed through. So it's like the follow through and then you get out and you just feel like invincible. So then that part I'm like I know there's like this like chemical
Yeah.
reaction but you get like the happy juices in your body and you're like this is amazing like and I feel like I can basically tackle anything because that was probably the hardest thing I did all day. So that was my main reason for sticking with it. Then the other things are it definitely helped with my swelling and inflammation. I had a lot of, and I feel like it just kind of went more to like the internal. So all my gut issues, it just kind of, I'd say, yeah, it is just, you have lots of inflammation on the outside too, sometimes lots of bloating. And I felt like that helped a ton with that. Um, Everything else, I'm like, I guess I took ice baths throughout my pregnancy. And anytime I was feeling in a funk after my ice bath, felt so much better throughout pregnancy, which I wouldn't recommend like starting ice baths while you're pregnant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I was listening to my body, and anytime I skipped one, I felt way worse. So sticking with them through
Are you
pregnancy.
nervous about the second pregnancy and the third pregnancy? I feel like sometimes moms, if they go through challenges or anything during their first pregnancy, could really maybe, set up a mentality of like, fear. But what did it look like for you when you, went through a second pregnancy?
Yeah, second pregnancy was pretty nerve-wracking, like right when we found out because I kind of had this fear like I don't even this is a whole new experience now because I have an ostomy. But I just took to my internet friends who all had ostomies. There were a few women on there who were sharing little bits about being pregnant with an ostomy. So I just messaged them and they were so sweet and messaged me back. There was a few things that I was like what's going on. Sometimes I would just share like what I was going through and the comment section would just flood in and go like, did you try this and this? So before getting pregnant, I'd say I was a little nervous about it, but we knew like my dream is just having a big family and having kids. And so when I felt good enough, like I was like, I think we can have a second. Like, let's try. And so honestly, it was just a miracle. And so the fact that I could get pregnant again we were just high on that. We were just like, this is amazing, just full of joy. So throughout the pregnancy, there were a few things that popped up throughout the pregnancy that were super scary, but nothing. I guess I was always just like, compared to my first, this is
Yeah.
great. I'll take this any day. And then yeah, I just delivered him via C-section, and that was kind of, I was like, they're all coming out one way.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to try something else. So yeah.
I was thinking about the ice bath thing. Sorry, because it was lingering in my head. Yesterday, I was telling someone a story about how I've never done an ice bath before. I've never done a cold plunge. However, a couple of years ago, I went on a trip to Peru and I wanted to swim with sea lions, and the water was
So
freezing,
cold. Yeah.
freezing, and
Sure.
I didn't have a wetsuit or anything, so it was essentially a
Yeah.
cold plunge, but with live animals like swimming all around me. And it was
Oh
so
my
I don't know. I feel like after doing that, I think I could definitely try a cold plunge, but it was so random. But I was like thinking about cold plunges and stuff, and then I was like, that's the only thing I have to compare. That's all I have to bring to the table in terms
Do
of
you
this.
still do it every day, Kaya? Do you still like, are you committed to that or?
So it's not like every single day, but recently, I guess it goes through like spurts. So sometimes it's like, we got too busy, we were gone or something. But recently I've been doing it every single day. All of January we did it every day. I feel like there's just a few days here and there that we skip. And
But
now my husband
literally,
is,
like,
I say we because my husband's in on it now again.
Yeah.
do you literally like like where do you do it? How do you do it? Like what do you have? How does this work?
So we got kind of wild during the winter because we knew it could just freeze over, and ice is expensive if you're, buying bags of ice. But I started in a chest freezer, and so you just plug it in. You have to really be careful if you don't have like a heater, like to make sure it doesn't completely freeze into a block of ice, which has happened before. But yeah, basically just plug it in, and it'll like freeze over the top, and then you unplug it. Make sure you unplug it when you get in.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
that's like our thing. And then we break it. That was our main deal. And then just like galvanized troughs, we've done that. And then I'd say they're all like horse, or I don't know, like horse troughs, like that we have all over our property because we have like 6 acres, and we just kind of like set them in the
Wow.
forest when the kids join us and everything. Yeah, we change it up. And then we've done the frozen lake a few times because
Oh
our
my
friends.
goodness. Oh my
So
goodness.
Again,
that's
do not try this.
Like,
Consult it with your doctor.
yeah.
We're just like,
absolutely, yes.
what words of advice do you have, Kaya, for moms who perhaps are going through like either a complicated pregnancy or they're like a little nervous about, and again, it could be different type of scenarios, but I feel like every mom always has like a different journey. What advice do you have for them?
I would just say, yeah, if you've had like a difficult pregnancy, and I'll just speak to like if you're worried about the second, but you want to have a second,
Mm.
um, first off, I would just listen to your body. Like there's no rush. But also like what you want. Like you want another baby, and um you're always going to be consulting with your doctor and all that stuff. But like internally, like with your mental health and everything, I just say get into a good routine with the child you have now. Get
Mm.
into something that you'd be able to like welcome another baby into that life. And then I truly like I just had this peace once it was time for our second baby. And I say just search for that peace that you have, because mother's intuition, I don't care what people say, but it is there and it is true. And so sometimes we kind of try to brush it off because we're like, we're just emotional, but that's not true. Mother's intuition is, I say, it is stronger than anything anyone can ever say or like, advise you.
Yep.
And so that was kind of the biggest thing, is I just waited for that peace I had. And then truly you just got to take care of your bodies, mamas. Like you have to put yourself first so you can help your kids, and you can,
Yes.
do what you actually want to do. And so that's kind of, I did ice baths and I started working out. and just like little fitness things, little goals, and you reach those, complete those. But yeah, I just say it's okay to have like healthy fears, like if you're concerned about certain things, like really that need to be talked to. Because I've had both, like just irrational fears and then true fears that are like, I don't know if my health is good enough to have another baby. um but yeah, when it comes to the irrational fears or just kind of like little nagging things, I'd say surround yourself with other moms too. Because sometimes it feels isolating. You feel like,
Yes.
I think I'm the only one going through this, but you're not.
Yeah.
Like, that is the thing. And that's the hardest part, is to just ask for help and then receive the help. And so I've had to learn that a lot, because I feel like I'm pretty tough and I'm pretty like, I could do it. Like, this is what I was built for. But when I surrounded myself with other moms and just really asking the questions that you're worried to ask, because some people think there's a dumb question. There's not. Like in motherhood, you're always learning. Like, I'm on my third kid and I'm still like, when do they eat solids? Like, I don't know. Like, you just still are learning. And it's
It's
just a
crazy how
different.
much information we process that first year. Like the
Yes.
other day, well, one of my friend had a newborn, and I was like, she was like, "Oh, so I don't know how she mentioned the ounces." I'm like, I have no idea how many ounces I gave my like. It's all a blur. Like I do not remember any of that stuff. Like, I mean, I guess you just figure it out. And I feel like I didn't even know. I was so much stuff that I didn't know I had to know by the time
At the
he was
same
born.
token,
I don't
though,
know.
like at the same token, I feel like this is also something I was talking about recently, where generations before us like didn't have all this information. You know what I mean? Like your parents are like kind of winging it and like we're all
I
okay.
mean, are
We're all okay. We're all okay. But like it's wild now because now the information finds you,
Mhm.
because of social media and stuff. Like, let's say like you're pregnant before you know it, Instagram already knows you're pregnant before your aunt knows you're pregnant. And then like the internet is coming at you with like, you need this, you need that, da, da, da. And you're like, okay, but like before we all just kind of like, you're gonna have a baby. Here's a bassinet and a blanket and a bottle and some diapers and like you bring
Figure
it
it
home
out.
and you
Yeah.
call it a day. Like now it's like, I don't know, the sock that tells you if your baby's breathing, which I know you loved, but
No,
like,
I
oh,
didn't.
you
No,
didn't?
no, no. I was not an advocate of that at
Oh,
all. Mm-mm.
I was
No.
not here for that either. I don't need it. I just like, no. But it's so much now. It's so much. And we do this to ourselves. Like, we should also just like simplify.
Do you chill by baby number three? Kai, we're just talking with to another guest who also was a number three. Um,
Are you like, feel like it's, what was,
I I feel like I'm much more chill. So like having a third again, it was like a total miracle. So we were like, this is wild. And I feel like I was so just like focused, like keep the kid alive, like with my first two,
yeah.
but like
right.
just like still, it was just like back and forth. Then with the third, I was like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna nurse her and I'm gonna sit here until her next feed. Like we're just gonna snuggle.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was, but yeah, this whole like chill mom just came over me. So I'd say I am much more chill, much more like just kind of like go with the flow,
Mm.
which in turn my child, like my third, she is so go with the flow. Like she's just the happiest, most content kid ever, which I don't know if some people like, maybe she just gets like top like rough and tough with her
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
older siblings.
I
But
definitely think babies sense the mood that we're in and the
Yeah.
energy that we're like projecting onto them, whether it's
yes,
like, conscious or like subconscious. But I feel that they definitely reflect that season in your life in some way.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kaya, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for being so open and
Why don't
transparent.
you share your handles, Kai, if anyone wants to
Yeah.
follow or look at the content and other platforms?
Yes.
How could they find you?
Okay. So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, um, YouTube. Yeah. And they're all the same. So it's Kya Jeub is my handle. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for having me. This has been so fun.
It
I
was
love you guys'
great.
podcast.
Thank
I
you.
always like take my hat off to like moms who actually could sit down, have a almost 30-minute conversation with us. We didn't see a kid. We didn't hear anyone like having a breakdown.
She's like, I'm in a
Oh,
bunker.
good.
I'm in a
Yeah.
bunker on an
Like,
acre
where are they?
away from
Why
the
did you
other.
do this? I'm so curious. Like, I can't, when I'm home, like, he's gonna be on top of me. Like, I don't, it's very hard. I need to like leave the house. or
know.
hide in my garage. But like I'm always like,
I did feel like that this morning. I was like, I don't know, they're pretty attached, but yeah, hubby's got them upstairs,
okay,
so
good.
who knows what
Good,
they're
good.
doing, but at least you didn't hear them. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is great. It's amazing. But I'm always like those things that I wonder. I'm like, where are they? How are they like, are they eating? Are they sleeping? Are they like how did she manage to like keep them all away from this area for like 30 minutes?
So funny.
But thank you for your time, Kaya. Thank you for sharing your
Thank you. It
story.
was so great meeting you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Bye.